This meeting is being recorded.
Hey, Jay, so I'm just waiting for him.
All good.
Okay. Hey, I just sent you a text. It's your boy, man, at work again. He just suspended HBCU funding for 19 HBCUs who are part of a consortium for scholarships for agricultural career pathways. And this is just the beginning, man. But so HBCU people or donors are donating anonymously to HBCUs in mass.
This is
Gee.
what people wanted.
Huh?
I said, this is what people wanted. I'm not saying this is what all the people wanted, but this is what they wanted.
Do you remember me telling you, man, that there was a wave of, or at least an undercurrent of things that I knew were occurring. I didn't know how to articulate it. I didn't know what I was talking about, but I just felt that there was not going to be enough support for Kamala. And I didn't expect it like this, but I knew that there was something amiss and that people were still not being as vigorous as they should have been and not count this guy out.
Well, I will say that there's three buckets, right? There's the people who thought that um, they were going to teach people a lesson by not supporting the people who were offering them half a loaf because they wanted a whole loaf, ignoring the fact that these other people weren't offering them even a slice. There are the people who thought that they would benefit even if there was going to be some chaos. They thought the chaos wasn't going to touch them.
Hmm.
And then there are the people who felt like, well, in fairness, not even felt like, there's a combo of, people who felt like they didn't have a reason to participate, and other people who were prevented from participating, right, systemically, removed from the voter rolls and stuff like that, right? Those, so, you know, now we're looking at the consequences. Some people had a theory that is being proven incorrect in real time, and other people never really had a chance, right? And I don't fault them. It's just, it is what it is. Here we are.
Well, history will tell what happened. And it's, I don't know if it's a horror story or a comedy or drama, but this is going to be quite a tale to tell, man, when people are able to recover and be able to write something that can allow us to sit back and really understand and story what the hell happened here. Well, gentlemen, David, I know you have only got a couple of minutes here. I really wanted to be very brief. You gentlemen are definitely some people that need to meet each other. I'm going to start, Dave, if you can first, just tell Jay a little bit about yourself, and then Jay yourself, and then for as long as we have, talk a little bit about maybe the way ahead together.
Morning, Dave. It's good to see you.
Morning, man. Great to see you, man. Great to see you. Great to
Yes,
see you.
yeah.
Kevin's always connected, man.
No, man. I that's what I was born to
I know.
do.
That's good. It's good. It's
That's
a
what I
good
was,
thing.
was born
Not
to
a bad
do.
thing. That's a
Yeah.
great thing.
So I'll fill in a little bit. So I met David at the Pan African Film Festival. He was on a panel. I can't remember the name of the panel, but you stood out like a sore thumb to me because you talked about finance a lot. And, a lot of the creatives and a lot of people there were, I think, went over their head a little bit, but they did understand that you were talking the language that very few of us really understand in a way where we can do anything about it in the time we have to do anything with.
Yeah.
And so, if you can, just from that standpoint, talk a little bit about, what you shared and how you actually used it to build your empire that you've got over there in LA.
Man, well, just give you a little background context. I've been in media since I was 17 years old. I've owned 5 national magazines. Started with a hip hop magazine in '97, print. Then I realized my advisors helped me realize that I'm really great at strategy and I recognize systems, operational systems. So I seen in a magazine is nothing, is all the same thing. It's just a different subject, it's a different section, et cetera, et cetera. So I ended up starting 5. I got national distribution. Biggest magazine with 127,000 copies in circulation a month. I work with everybody you could think of in music, blah, 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 and fashion. I created an upscale men's magazine just so I can get suits for free because I didn't want to buy suits. Because, yeah, hey, I own the magazine. I'm just keeping it 100. I own the magazine.
Of course.
And, hey, they wanted me to go on their red carpet or talk, or they wanted to be on. They were like, hey, let me dress the owner. And they would give me the suits for free. So that's why I created it. So I created and then from the magazines went to online websites. We had probably around 28 different online websites. I created an advertising agency out of that because we was doing all the programmatic, I mean, not the programmatic, display advertisements, the emails, et cetera, et cetera. And again, I had a knack for building systems and building things in media. I built a lot of relationships over the years. And I transformed 2018, I transformed everything into Vire, its streaming network, because that's where everything is going to video. And I built it in stages. In 2021, I actually took it public on a penny stock. I did a reverse merger into a shell that we cleaned up. Now we're getting it all together and going to uplist it to NYSE America. It's going to take time. That's an 18-month runway that we have planned out for it, but it's in motion. Right now, we have my company on the exchange as Cabo Verde, CAPV, but we're waiting for FINRA to change the name to Vire, VYRA. So I named it Vire 4 letters on purpose because I knew I wanted to take it public. So yeah, on a panel, I was talking about how people when they put their money into films and they invest into films, there's so many different programs out there that helps people, investors go make their money back. Number one, it's a 181. Number two, it's a program that we've got blessed with to have 80% of our guarantees, 80% of our movies and our projects guaranteed. So if we put $100 million into a project, 80% of it is guaranteed by the state.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't lose. There's no way we can lose on a project or ever lose money on a project that we invest into. Yeah, so the panel was really about marketing and getting yourself out there. But my personal feeling of the direction of what people was asking and where it was going, it led a little bit towards the finance aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I really. Sorry about that. Somebody was calling me. That's where I really dove in on that. I still own the advertising agency. That's how I built like almost everything that we have now is through the advertising agency. So I just got unorthodox methods on marketing and branding. I'm a strategist at heart. I have a team of about 17 people for my advertising agency. Running Vires, we're 42 deep. 70% of them are independent contractors. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep the costs and then keep the things down. And yeah, so Vire currently we're 5 years in the game. We're a free streaming platform. It's like Hulu. So I looked at the business model of Hulu, Pluto TV, all those, and seeing that Hulu is the most feasible business model for what we have. We focus on the next generation of film and TV and athletes. We have live sports on the platform. We have 5,833 movie titles, TV series on the platform right now. We're in 186 countries, and it doesn't look black owned. Did that on purpose, and yeah, we make money from programmatic advertisements. We have some companies that buy, bulk ads, buy the inventory, or we go into the marketplace for regular commercials to be on, and that's how we make money.
Right. Dave, if you can, describe what I saw on Thursday, the production facility, and what you did in terms of taking sticks and capturing him, and where that's going to go in your Vire platform.
Yeah, so inside of Vire, as I said, I had magazines. I turned all the magazines into individual channels that lives inside of Vire because it already had an audience. My Vire Music, I had it already, like I done worked with every artist you could think of. So
And you already had an editorial strategy for each one, right? So that just transfers nicely into a program strategy.
Yep, exactly. So, we did that for music. We did one for comedy. We have a channel for, faith-based. It's called Just Faith TV. And so
you didn't want to pay for your churches?
Nah. Nah, it was.
I want my churches for free, damn it! No,
it was a void, man. It was a void. I seen that a lot of streaming platforms. There was only a couple that are faith-based,
right?
And they were struggling. And I looked at the data on why they were struggling was because they was too top heavy. It was relying on one thing, programming. The way I did it with Vire is it's part of an ecosystem. It doesn't stand alone. So when things are low and we don't have new content or we're searching for new faith-based content, the support of Vire, the company, steps in and supports where it doesn't fail. So it's kind of like the big brother type thing, and then that's the little sister, and you make sure your sister's all right.
Yeah.
So we can weather through different storms with faith-based because faith-based is kind of finicky when you get into the denominations and blah 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 blah.
Right.
But what he's talking about, I've always wanted to compete against CNBC.
Okay.
And so they have shows like Kramer, Fast Money, all those stock shows. All those shows only show the titans of the market.
Right.
There's 1,600 other publicly traded companies out there that people don't know about. They don't get no shine or anything like that. So that's a marketplace that I feel as though I can really tap in at. So I created a business channel called Vire Business News Global, VBNG, and that business channel focuses on small cap and micro cap businesses.
Nice.
Which is not on TV.
Right.
So what we did was I started with building the website and building the ecosystem first because I'm in media and I've been in media, so I know how to build it up. So for a year, we've been doing curated articles based off of news in the micro and small cap space, showcasing companies, et cetera, doing that. So that's been going for a year. Currently, we have, I think last I looked, it was like 23,000 people look at it a day. Look at that website a day. The next phase of that is doing original content, which is one of the shows that he came by. I know TED Talks is really big. So I created my own thing for myself. I'm selfish when it comes to my business channel. It's called Self-Empowerment Lessons Flourished. So whatever successful person, the mistakes they made and how they got through those mistakes, and then how they benefit, and now that they're successful, the lessons that they learned. So everybody spoke about a mistake, what they did wrong, what they didn't do, how they didn't look, et cetera, and they failed because they didn't do these things. And then this is what they did to change that up, and now they're successful. These are the results. So that's just our own TED Talks that we shot. I'm doing 8 episodes. That was only 4 episodes that we did last week. We have Matthew Knowles is going to be the first episode. I got
Well,
Matt.
you can't just say Matthew Knowles. You know how like when somebody's they get knighted in England and it's Sir so and so, right? Matthew Knowles is always Matthew Knowles, Beyonce and Solange's dad. Like if you say the whole thing, like a Tribe Called Quest, right?
Man, I don't ever. See, that's the craziest thing. You know what? He said something to me that was wild the other day. He said, "Yo, Dave, you're the first person that I've been doing business with for more than 5, 6 months that never said introduce me to my daughter. I don't even bring it
But
up.
he introduces himself as the dad of
No, I'm
Beyonce and
talking about
Solange.
me ask him to introduce me into his daughter.
Right. So they're using him as a plug to try to get to
Oh,
Beyonce.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. I
Yeah.
see. As opposed to because that's the thing. When he was introduced to me, and I hope I find a way to platform him here at UCLA, but he was talking about marketing and entrepreneurship and business development and all the
Hmm.
work that he's done and so on and so on and so on, right? Like we were not talking about his kids, we were talking about
Yeah.
him, right? But I understand, right? How could you not, especially if you have a big enough platform to where getting involved with Beyonce or Solange could really be a massive boost
Yeah.
to
Oh yeah.
something, right? Right. I can
Come on
see it.
now.
I totally get it. I'm sure most people would probably,
Come
but I'm
on.
just saying because he introduces himself that way,
Yeah.
that's all tied up in his brand too. And the
Oh,
thing is,
that's strategic. That's strategic. He does
right?
that strategically. He does that strategically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Dave, where are you from originally?
I'm from Philadelphia, man.
Okay, I knew it was East Coast, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I,
I'm from
I didn't hear
Philadelphia.
the New York in you. Okay, but I knew it was East Coast. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
got
from
you.
Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
how are we on time, man? Because I knew you said
no,
you only got a few minutes.
I'm good. I have them up on my screen on the other
Okay,
screen,
okay,
and then they're gonna when they chime in, they're gonna chime in.
okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
the facility, where
yeah.
is it, and how did you design and build it out the way you did?
Well, the facility is downtown Los Angeles. It's on 7th and Mateo.
Okay.
It's in Echelon Cut, 8,000 square feet upstairs, downstairs, 4,000 square feet downstairs, soundstage. Got a green screen, got a digital screen. The
Sweet.
digital screen going across. It's 14 high and 40 feet long.
Nice.
Digital screen in there. We got all the equipment in the book. We have probably got like 12 different types of cameras and stuff like that in here, lighting, grip, all that. Upstairs, got some offices, conference room. I built a movie theater, 18 seat, 20 seat movie theater in there.
Okay.
Yeah, in a little lounge. We're taking the same concept for here and putting it and building it. We created via Africa because we got some business going on over there in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
With bridging the gap between content from there and here to there.
Yeah.
So we're looking at building the same thing a little bit bigger in Africa because it's cheaper out there. Because one thing that they don't have is resources.
Right.
They have all the ideas. They have
Right.
content,
They have the culture. They have the talent. It's just,
resources.
infrastructure, really.
Yeah. So we're looking at bringing that in there. But yeah, we've been here for a year and a half now. Yeah, almost a year
Nice.
and a half. We built it out from scratch. It was a wild building. You know what I mean? And
I've
yeah,
seen some of those buildings, right? So I run the Center for Media, Entertainment, and Sports at UCLA's Business School, and I've been, which makes me kind of the ambassador between UCLA and the entertainment community. And I've been
hmm
doing that for the last 8 years. And before that, I was doing something similar at USC, which is how Kevin and I met. I started a thing called Silicon Beach at USC, which was this combo experience. It was a conference focused on digital entertainment, digital future, LA area startups, but it was also a pitch competition like Shark Tank, where we gave away $50,000 a year,
Oh
right?
wow.
And so that gave me a chance to meet a lot of people and collaborate with a lot of people. But really, my interest is in media, culture, entertainment, sports, and so I've worked on a bunch of things over here, and I also advise Kevin, and I've advised a couple of startups and done some work for some nonprofit organizations. And one of my biggest areas of interest is around empowerment, whether we're talking about career pathways for young people that we're trying to bring into the space. And I
hmm
say that knowing that what we're looking at right now is layoffs, tech transformation and other drama that hits filmed entertainment, gaming, and a lot of other areas in the space. But still, I feel like it's the early days of what's coming next. But then also, in addition to the career pipeline stuff, I'm also trying to figure out like, where I can do interesting things, both from the perspective of content creation. So Kevin and I have been talking about a podcast or some other execution, and then also how to like advise and empower and support folks like you who are doing really cool things that are a little bit more innovative, where possibly, one of the if you do what I do, you're not going to get rich fast. But on the other hand, you're going to meet a lot of very smart, talented people doing lots of different kinds of things. So to the degree that I can share a little bit of wisdom or make an introduction or help facilitate stuff, one of the things I'm trying to do is just kind of be helpful, because as you know, sometimes that little bit of help is the difference between somebody kind of sitting on an idea and somebody going off to, running with that idea and making something happen.
Yeah.
Now I didn't grow up in Philly. I grew up in New York. I'm from Queens.
Okay.
But I can, I love the energy you bring in, man. Like I feel like I'm back on the East Coast when I'm talking to you. And I love I would love to see your facility in LA, but I love this kind of, US Africa type of thinking. I love the hustling up from a couple of magazines to really a portfolio of media related stuff. The ad agency sounds tight. Kevin has been trying to help provide experiential learning opportunities like internships, apprenticeships, events, etc., for the students that he's been working with and the participants he's been working with. And he's also been doing, presentations at schools and collaborating with some of the LA entities around other kinds of events and stuff like that. But I do think that while we got to keep doing that, we also got to take people like you who are already in their lane and just figure out how to help you keep shining, because, I'm concerned this next couple of years is going to be,
It's a shift.
yeah.
It's a big shift.
Seismic, yeah.
It's a big shift that's happening. It's a big shift. It's funny that we're on the phone talking on this. The meeting that I'm going to, that these guys they already started. They don't need me right now. But the meeting that is happening right now is I put together, for 3 years, did a film festival. It was digital. I am the only film festival that gives guaranteed distribution and marketing
Nice.
when you win. You don't just win, hey, I won the film festival. No, we present you with the deal and you can take it or leave it. It's a non-exclusive deal. You still keep ownership of your content, but we'll stream it and we'll throw 50 grand or 20 grand behind it in marketing.
Right.
Or we take short films and we figure out how we're going to extend those short films. So with our film festival with this year, I took off last year so we can organize this year. And I'm making it more so a festival. And the festival style is really educational.
Right.
I'm only charging $25, period. So $25, you can get into a class. I got my guy who edited some of Game of Thrones. He's basically going to pull up his computer and he's going to run a 2-day class, 4 different times. And he's going to show people who sit in there with their computer open how to edit and how he did some of the graphic effects and edited Game of Thrones.
Damn. Okay.
I'm going to have another class that shows how to do action, how to actually shoot action movies, action parts, fighting scenes. The actors and directors will be able to benefit from that. Then another class that we're doing is all on finance. What is a 181? How do you fill out the form for a 181? How do you fill out the form? How do you present a project and get the tax credit to use the tax 30% or 20% in California? What relationship do you have to have? What is the mark? How do you outline it and then present it so that you can get financed? So my guy John over at Film Hedge, he's a black guy too. He's around my age. I'm 45.
I got a couple of years on you.
There you go. There you go. he has $350 million in film financing that he can give out and debt financing.
Nice.
But people don't know that these things is available and how to present something. When you go up to somebody like that or present something, you never in the back of your mind know, oh, am I presenting it right? Am I packaged right? Or that I didn't, so we're going to, in a class, we're going to show you how to do that. There's a class on directing on show you how to direct from the people who've directed. It ain't a panel. There's no panels.
This is all
Um,
how
it-
to.
yeah, it's all how to's.
I
And
love it.
anybody can attend for $25.
I love that.
So
And it's
so we're
funny.
doing that in the middle of the film festival.
When is the calendar for the film festival?
We're looking at doing it in July.
Okay.
I already locked down the Chinese Man Theater.
Hmm.
So that's where the films is going to be done. And I'm looking at, see, this is, it's a problem for me because I own a building. So I want to do some of the classes in my own building.
Right.
But I know from doing concerts and events, once somebody gets in a car and has to drive to another place, you lose some people. So I'd rather have them park at one spot and then be able to go to various different classes or setups that are around without having to get back into the car. Because when you get back into the car, you
Gone. Yeah.
So you got what is it? The W is across from the Chinese theater, I think. And
no,
they have,
it's Lowe's. It's the Lowe's.
okay.
The Lowe's. It's a Hollywood and Highland.
No,
So
but
there's a
there's a,
couple of. Huh?
right. But I'm saying they have, yes, it is Lowe's, but they
Yeah.
have, a whole floor with meeting rooms. And if you shared your vision with them, they might let you get those rooms just for an F&B minimum.
They try to tax me. They already.
Really?
Yeah. When you Google,
When you say I'm trying to do a how-to for starving artists, they're still like, oh, but we need to get paid because
Yeah.
of course, in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, that's when people want to use those spaces in July. I mean, it seems to me that if you just waited until May and asked the same question, so did you book those rooms up?
Yeah, right.
It might be a different. I don't know, but it might be a different conversation. There is also a co-working space. Now that's not right there. I think it's maybe 3 or 4 blocks further west.
Or it's on
But it's
Lafayette
always
on La Brea.
it's also just before you hit La Brea, or at least there used to be, like right on the corner. I can't remember what it's called.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That we're talking
Right?
to them.
So they might be a good place to do it if you can't do it like in the theater itself. It's not a long walk, and people wouldn't have to repark their cars.
So, and that's the thing. So I'm building the whole ecosystem around the theater for people to watch the movies.
Right.
But the classes, I'm gonna get the Roosevelt. I'm gonna get a room there, a conference room there. I'm gonna get 2 small rooms at the Lowe's because it's right there, walking distance. And then that spot you just talked about, it's right on the corner where La Brea and Hollywood Boulevard is right there. So they have a meeting space, and I'm talking to them about getting their meeting space for those 4 days, 3 days.
Okay.
And working that out. So those are going to be my places, and it's going to be a whole ecosystem. So a lot of my friends, and I know the owners of a lot of these lounges and spots like that. So the after parties or the lounges and everything like that is going to be
So then
walking distance too.
Yeah.
They're going to be walking distance too. So everything's going to be kind of like right there. And we're looking at taking over Hollywood. I even got the Hollywood and Highland to let me throw a concert in the middle of the open area. You know the open area where all the stores is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ovation.
I know what you're talking about. So in the mall, the space that's in the middle of the I don't that you look down at, like if you stand on the balcony, you can either look out towards the Hollywood Center, you can look down to the open space. That space. I got you.
So we're gonna be I'm looking, they said they give it to me. I still gotta pay for it, but I'm looking to do a free concert outside.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna take over Hollywood. That's something educational, and I would love to We work together. I can send you over some of
Man,
the ideas and things.
well,
I'm
Dave,
happy to help and support
Dave,
however I can. It sounds awesome.
with the calendar upon us, there is an implementation grant um, for $400,000 that I'm pretty sure if we put our heads together, we can get. There's probably going to be at least 20 of these $400,000 back of the envelope ideas that they're going to fund. It's called California Jobs First. And they're looking for people who have the ability to scale from the implementation or from the well, actually, it's really pre-development dollars to implementation. The implementation grants are 5 million. The pre-development's 400,000, and the goal really is to find people who have state control. Literally, they have already a building or they have some infrastructure, but they're trying to spread the love, if you will, and get to other service planning areas. I want to be able to, before March 10th, which is the deadline to submit for just this festival and the infrastructure, the training, the all the other tentacles to it. Those are the things that could be an easy win. But
So that would be so that would be a question of trying to figure out what to carve out where this could really significantly offset some expenses, right?
Right. But the scalability of what you're talking about, just from your own building to taking it, the story of taking it from downtown to Hollywood, how you can distribute some of this stuff to other service planning areas in Los Angeles County, whether it be on the west side or the valley or whatever, streaming. That's what
I
I've
was
been
about
trying
to
to tell
say, David has the ability to get this experience out to a much larger, much wider group of people, even as it's happening. So
that's what everything, I mean, everything comes to me. And Jay helped me with a series of convenings we did for these folks that literally we had to get to 10 million people, and we were in different service planning areas. We had to do 5 convenings in 5 different geographies that represented the 5 different LA County Board of Supervisors. And the only way we could do what we had to do is we had to stream, and we used StreamYard. YouTube channel, StreamYard, and really there was no destination for the stream, but we just had to make sure that we offered it up for people who are in churches or in other community centers so that they can see it in the different language channels. And this thing was already set up for us to deliver by geography, meaning service planning areas, and by language, by ethnicity, race, geography, and race.
So Kevin, if you wanted to pitch a grant proposal for $400K to use a bunch of that money to try to underwrite some of these experiences, like at the co-working space we talked about, or at the Lowe's, what would you need from David to get started? And what's the time horizon?
I have a template for us to go over. I've already submitted 2. One of the submissions, and I can be involved with as many submissions as I can, because there's going to be 20 different $400,000 proposals funded. And the one that I submitted already, well, I'm thinking about a completely separate one than the one that I submitted. The one that I submitted was all around career placement. So I'm working with a guy named, Ted Milner, who's a placement specialist for people getting into entry-level positions in Hollywood, but really in a very unique position. They're called producers assistants, not production assistants. They're people who work showrunner's desk. And he's been very successful for 30 years. His wife has built this thing up, so they're getting, invoices and orders from studios, executive folks who want somebody they can trust, who can run their desk. And so I built one submission around the last mile of employment in the entertainment industry. The other one has nothing to do with the entertainment industry. It's really around the biggest issue we have in LA County, which is housing. All these people are trying to get somewhere. They're never going to be able to live in LA County because it's just the cost of living is too high.
Yeah.
So we're working with HUD and some other people to help figure out how people can get dormitories if they're in workforce programs that are tied to outcomes where essentially they're going to be able to get placed, but they're going to have housing that eventually it's going to be the kind of housing that they'd want to stay in and be lifelong tenants in those buildings.
Who are you working with that?
For which for the the
for the
one that
housing.
I'm working for the housing one. I'll send you the proposal for that one because that one is really with some developers and construction people because they.
Literally just giving you like I'm very, very, very connected to a lot of charities and a lot of businesses. Like I helped them start. Um, Think Watch Foundation, me and Stick started that together. Um, but outside of that, I met a gentleman and working with him. He does housing right now. He has 300, 200 rooms. He works with the state of California government. Works with Los Angeles on providing housing for homeless that are transitional housing for them to have a place, have a shower, somewhere to eat, blah blah blah, and then go into the workforce and then get back on there. He has 300 rooms right now, 300
Mm.
doors. He's looking for another 100. They just gave him the go ahead to get another 100 rooms.
Well,
Um, and listen to this. When I say it's money, it's crazy because the city pays $125 a day for them to be in that room per person. So he now has two hotels, but they don't want to deal with the hotel guy that he's doing now. So he's looking at buying low housing, low property, and we're talking about putting container homes on there, and then doing it through the container homes with the land, and just using that as a funnel because he's already in the system. The guy currently right now is doing 400,000 a month that they're paying him. The city of Los Angeles paying him 400,000 a month just for providing the houses. And he doesn't get that money; he just sets it up.
Right.
But you probably need to talk with him because he is. When I say housing, he's he's all the way in, and he's doing it now. He does it for a living. He
well,
has a great team. He's black. He's a young boy, young kid um, from Kansas, and he has a great story. It's a great story there.
yeah.
But
Well,
I
hey
need to
man,
introduce him to him.
as soon as you can set it up because this is not only a very lucrative opportunity for someone to scale from the implementation 400,000 to the 5 million implement to the $5 million grant, but this scales to the whole state of California for 50 million because every single service planning area in LA County has a problem. I venture to say that the majority of the other counties in LA, I mean, the state of California, maybe except for the maybe one or two of them, have the same issue of housing for
Yeah.
people who are literally going to be phased out of workforce development, training, placement because they just can't find any independent living to be able to get there. And
Mhm.
the barriers are just too great when you have, training and shrinking and not shrinking, but contraction, especially in our industry, and you're still unhoused or you're in the verge of being unhoused, it's very tough for people to have the mental capacity to
Yeah.
really get through the training. So we're trying to bundle all this stuff together so that we can actually have a kind of a triage to figure out what people actually could, live in these types of dormitories or these rooms, and get termed into an opportunity to meet a job higher. And so one program that we're working with in this grant, and I'll show it to you, they have a construction apprenticeship program.
Mm.
So it's all these apprenticeship stuff that I'm dealing with is earn to learn. So we actually pay people to show up to get the training and the
Oh,
certification. And
well,
these dollars,
hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Jay, how much time do you have left? Because I mean, I want to set up a real lunch
Nah,
between
nah,
us.
we're good. No, no, we're good. I told them to continue and we'll work it out. They,
Sure,
some of these meetings, it'd be crazy because they just want me there,
sure.
and then all I do is say,
Well,
okay, yeah, I'm
leverage,
with
bro.
doing it.
You know leverage. You know leverage. Yeah,
I'm with doing that. Okay, it looks good. Yeah, you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
yeah,
So the goal really is, as a strategist, is to try to figure out what all of these politicians and all these consultants are not doing, and they're not braiding all these different problems into one solution set that will enable people to get off of the welfare, get off of the tit, if you will. And
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
problem. And everybody wants to stay, in their positions, but they want to stay connected to the tit. And if you can find a way to, you know, uh, the way ahead to do that, it will put a lot of people out of work because they just don't want to
Yeah.
do the work. So I'm going to say, if we can, I'd love to do a lunch together with us so we can actually sit down and I can show you guys. March 10th is going to be here before you know it. Um, I'm really hoping that we can think about the 400,000 as just the
Yeah.
beginning, and then start looking at the 5. But the city and the county needs to sponsor your film festival as
Yeah,
far
I
as I'm
agree.
concerned.
If we
I
can
would, I
make
would
it
love,
Because
happen.
it's not.
I would love that because we was even if they. I was talking to I forgot what film school it was. What film? Well, I can't think of the name of the film school right now. But I was talking to them like, yo, dude, I give y'all a discounted rate of $15. Y'all just buy the tickets for your students.
Right.
Tell your students to come sponsor your students. Buy a block of 100 tickets. You know
Wow.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even stuff like that and activities. The workshops is really gonna kill him. I'm talking about, I would love to turn that into as big as South by Southwest is for Texas, as this is for the film industry. And it's different from a regular film festival because there's only panels that people talk about. I want to show you how to do it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
if we can get the city behind it on it, that's a win-win right there.
Yeah. And Dave, how much do you integrate like emerging tech like, AI or HI into what it is you guys talk about? Because that's where I think Jay is kind of at the intersection of, sports media entertainment, but with heavy on where tech is going to make that more, malleable for people who adopt it as opposed to run away from it.
Yeah, well, one of the panels is an AI panel. Not panel, one of the classes. We have a guy to show you how to make films with AI. Like, so you don't have to leave your house, but you can make a whole full feature film with AI through AI. He's going to show you how to do that. But then also we have a class that is about tools that is used, industry tools, such as if you are aggregator and you have all your films, there's companies like Trolley. It's a tech company that all the data goes into one place, and realistically, getting them to understand that all you're doing as an aggregator is you're a data farm. You know what I mean? You're collecting the data on the projects or whatever it is, and then you have 30, 40, 50 people to pay out. And instead of doing that, you'll be able to use this system to infiltrate, to make sure it not infiltrate, to make sure it gets paid out correctly without even having to do anything on there. Or there's other programs that are project management programs. So I have those guys coming out showing how to use the system, not selling on them on the system, but telling them how to use the system and how to use a project management when you're doing films and projects and coding and everything like that. So yeah, we're dabbling in that tech. But again, that's a touchy subject in Hollywood when you talk about AI and you talk about because a lot of people are losing their jobs because of it. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
lot of
Well,
people.
right. It is a touchy subject, but I think for us, um, we need to put our people in the best position to have opportunities going forward. And a lot of the automation that we know is coming, there's nothing for it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not
bro.
going to be able to
Hey,
stop it.
bro. It's just a sink or swim. I'm sorry. I mean, the majority of everything I want to do right now is give people a heads up. That's all we can do is let them draw their own conclusions. That's
Man,
it.
they're gonna think you're a conspiracy theorist out there, man.
But they
White
already
people
do.
gonna paint you as that, man.
Dude, I'm the most hated guy because people say, "Well, why are you saying these things and you don't have shit?" Show me a complex like UCLA or USC or something, and I say, okay, I don't want to be the honest broker anymore because people they can't believe anything is going to change in time for them to be able to stay ahead of it because they're the smart people. I'm not the guy that's smart. I just, want to be able to tell a few people that, again, our ship just hit an iceberg. I mean, it's just, but that's all I want to do, man. And hopefully some of these people, Dave, if you can make it tomorrow for lunch, man, you'll see 30 of them. That'll be inside of the Sony place because we're giving them laptops, we're giving them software so that they
Mm-hmm.
can learn how to project manage, how to be collaborators, how to just do something besides think about, hey man, let me find my own lifeboat and start, paddling as quickly as I can to wherever. And I'm just trying to be able to show this as a model to the California Jobs First people, because their biggest thing is trying to find collaboration. And in the world that Jay has taught me is how do you collaborate with people who are born and trained to run around, over, and through you, because there's only so many lifeboats. There's only so many. And
It
so,
depends on the age.
well, okay.
It's the age that you target to have that conversation.
Well, that's why I was struck by your age. I didn't know how old you were. I said, hey, the young guy is talking about the way ahead. Because all the old heads that I know, these old lions, man, they're not getting out of the way. They're not giving up shit. And then the young people, nobody's going to give them a voice. Nobody. Nope. So you were the right appropriate age, the way you were dressed, and everybody else in the panel was just kind of talking about their experience and their brand. You were giving up gems, man. And everybody else was like, well, I can't really get with this guy because I really expect just somebody to tell me about their story so I can be inspired. It was an inspiration panel, and here you are delivering all this stuff. I'm like, oh man,
that's what it was supposed to be.
Well, no, that's the problem. Though, I think people don't necessarily always treat it that way, and I recognize that, especially for people who are smart, being smart just means you learn faster than other people. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that learning isn't painful, and the reason you try to be a little bit more optimistic and inspirational and give people, some glimpses at the gold at the other end of the rainbow is like, look, man, I know it's going to be a pain in the neck. I know you don't want to learn how to use new tool. I know you don't want to spend 20 hours trying to figure out how to do something that may not even be a thing 6 months from now. But let me just tell you, when I did it, this is what I got. Right. And hopefully, a couple of folks will take that and run with it. It's never promised. But like when you're talking about, we'll have somebody actually showing you this is how you edit. The reason my eyes lit up is that I think that there are a lot of functions in the production process that the real secret sauce is being able to collaborate with people and have the right kind of taste, the right eye for things and detail, what have you. But the barrier is, how do I use the tool? And there's this perception that because other people get to do it and you don't, that it's because learning how to use the tool is going to take me, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. It's like, no. If the right person gets in front of you, you'll learn the basics in 2 hours. I'm not saying it's not going to take you 2 years to master it, but it's not going to take you 2 years to be good enough to work on a project. That is not going to take that long. If you're about that action, if you feel like this is what you want to do after you got the 2 hours, we can probably get you set up in 6 months. Right? Like, but you got to want it,
Yeah,
so
you got to want it, man.
That's true.
Yeah. So, but guys, I've got to go. This is one of the first times. This is one of the greatest meetings. But man, but Dave, if you can make it Tuesday, you'll meet some of the folks that I'm going to try and pull together into the same life raft or a lifeboat. We're gonna be at Sony from 12 to 1:30, serving some lunch. But have these people working through a process of what Sony wants to do to brand themselves and their hardware, software, and their entertainment division. They're looking for talent. And so this is my first chance to have a corporation say, all right, what do you got? I mean, we've been knocking on the door. Show me some of your best and brightest. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. We're doing the same thing with Warner Brothers in March. And then Jay has an event that he's doing in April. Jay,
April 4th.
Close us out with that event, Jay.
So real quick, I do an annual event called our Pulse Conference, which is really all about innovation across filmed entertainment, gaming, music, etc. One of the features of that we always honor a Game Changer Award winner every year. Last year was Ted Sarandos from Netflix. The year before that was Donna Langley from Universal. This year it'll be Issa Rae. And so, it's a combination of our MBA students plus a bunch of industry professionals, usually about 300 to 400 people. This year we're doing it on campus. It'll be fun times. If you want to come through, we got a guest pass with your name on it.
No,
Yeah.
hey. Well, I want to figure out a way for us to stream it somewhere using all his tools. That's what
Oh,
that's what I'm
and-
thinking.
I could send my whole team there to stream it, bro. That's I could do that blindfolded.
Bro, I
We can
mean, when
stream
you
it to the we can
see
stream it to the world.
his team,
and you know
what
what?
I saw.
And I will let you.
Yeah. We can stream that. We can stream it to the world for free and just let
I'm,
people just log on and watch it and
I'm
then
all
get
for it.
entertained.
I'm
Yeah.
all for it.
So,
So anyway,
I'll put this
conversation
together.
for the next time.
I'll put
Yeah.
this together, and again, man, thank you guys for taking time out, and
Of course.
we'll,
All good.
we'll make it happen. We'll make it
Great
happen.
right,
to
man.
see you both.
All right.
Keep shining. Talk soon.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
All right.
guys. All right, bye bye.